we will study the systems, and today I'm going to introduce you muscular system. So we have after the skeleton, the next layer on our body is uh, muscles. Please open your videos. That will be better because then I will feel I am in the class. Otherwise, it's like talking to the computer. Those who are comfortable, please open it and keep noting, the notes. So after bones, the first layer in the body is bones. After the in the skeleton, we have the muscles across the whole body. Everybody knows about it. So approximate 640 total skeleton muscles are in the body. Approximate 640 muscles are in the body, and we call them skeleton muscles. So skeletal muscles itself maybe give you the clarity that they are attached throughout our skeleton. So are only skeletal muscles are there in the body? No. So write down we have three types of muscles in the body. First, write down approximate 640 skeleton muscles we have in the body, and after that write down we have three types of muscles. The functioning, why it is very important, why muscles are very important. All the movement of body is dependent upon the contractibility of your muscles. Bones can't contract, they are rigid and hard. Muscles are soft and they have a very beautiful quality of contractibility. So they can contract, first of all. So human movement and the various dimension of human movement is only possible because of the this peculiar quality of contractibility in muscles. The contraction. So first, in the contraction, write down we have two type of contractions: isotonic and isometric contraction. Isotonic and isometric. Now, what is isotonic contraction? Write down the contraction where the movement can be seen. So, whatever movement you are doing, that is isotonic. That's why sometimes we say the body gets toned after exercises. One of the benefit we always tell people, sculpt, toning. So toning word is associated with this movement. So this is isotonic movement where contraction, the movement can be seen. In this isotonic contraction, there are two movements performed: eccentric and concentric movement. Eccentric, E double C, eccentric. Concentric, CONCE, आगे centric. In front of concentric, write down towards the center. Towards the center. In the eccentric movement, write down away from the center.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Rahul?
Eccentric.
Eccentric,
First,
away from the
isotonic
center.
contractions and other is
Isometric.
isometric. Okay.
Yeah. So isotonic, because we can see the movement, so there are two type of movements performed: concentric and eccentric up towards the body. Let us take an example of our arms. So when we are moving towards the body, this is concentric. When we are opening it, it is eccentric. So this is concentric movement, eccentric movement, and it is isotonic movement. You can see it. The movement can be seen. This is isotonic. So all the movements you are doing, this is isotonic. Then what is isometric contraction? Let me give an example of the childhood. Come back to your childhood classes. Sometimes, some or the other time, we must have got a punishment of hands up and stay there. That's the punishment given by the teacher. What happens? There is no movement. According to the physics, there is no movement. So work not done because you cannot calculate the distance upon time. You cannot calculate the distance. So when distance is not covered, you have not done any work. So isometric contractions are the constant contraction where performance cannot be seen, where movement can't be seen, but it doesn't mean in exercise physiology that your muscles are not working. They are working more hard because they are in constant pressure. They are not able to breathe and release their pressure. Holding in asanas, sthir sukhasanam, hold the pose. That is isometric contraction. You are still, you are not doing any work. But holding the poses are more difficult than performing isotonic exercises. That's why people always consider yoga is very difficult to perform because it is more tiring. People think about how we are going to lose weight. It's not, it's very slow. No, it is not. In isotonic exercises or movement where you get a friction of second to release the tension that is missing during isometric hold, isometric contraction. So your body is not getting even a friction of second to release the pressure from that muscle. So muscles are more into pressure. So even very simple asanas, why I talk again and again to my trainers about the simple and basic asanas. Half an hour sukshmayam, that is isotonic, and after that if you go for very light asanas, even then people will get results. Don't afraid of designing your yoga classes very light, because if you design your exercise program or yoga program class or session very intense, half of the class will not return next day because they will say the trainer is very good, she performs very well, my trainer perform very advanced asanas but I can't do. And if the whole population decide I can't do, then only the trainers in the whole world will be performing the yoga. Previously, that only happened with the generation. If we go back 2010 and back 1980s, these 30, 40 years, people consider yoga is not our cup of tea. It belongs to a very fit body of yogis. So in sciences, in anatomy and physiology, exercise sciences, because of that, yoga suffered. And in philosophy also, we became so rigid. If you want to become or if you want to join yoga or you want to become a yogi, you have to leave everything behind because our first aspect is yama, niyama. And then comes the asana. After that, pratyahar, pranayam. So people, they become very, very afraid of leaving all things behind, and then we can only practice yoga. So philosophy and exercise physiology both suffered because of the wrong interpretation or wrong communication or wrong understanding of society. Like if in gym trainer courses, I always say in a gym, out of 100 enrollments, only 10 will be considered, will be aiming for the bodybuilding, for powerlifting, for competitive. But rest of 90 clients are there with you only for health related fitness. In those 90s, only maybe only 3 to 5 people will be for sports performance fitness. But what about rest 85% people? So, as a yoga trainer, you are going to deal with this society. So, you need to understand the designing of your classes so that people should not move away from your classes, considering it very hard. Yoga is very hard. So, when we go for the holding of poses, it is isometric contraction. Now, let us understand why it is more difficult than the isotonic contractions. Each time, first of all, let us understand that as soon as you start your any kind of activity preparation, that is we call warm up or the sukshma vyayam in yoga or warm up in exercise sciences. I'll I'll go with the exercise science basis so that if you need to handle the sports person, Olympians till the 80 age, 80-year-old woman, you have to be prepared because you can't hush away anyone. I can't train you. So you have to be well prepared from Olympian to the 80-year or 85-year-old person who will require your help. So in exercise science, what we say, as soon as we start any activity, any preparation, our brain gets signals. You will be amazed to know if you start doing exercise, warm up, all the blood supply has been cut from every system, and 85% blood supply is given to the muscular system. That is why we recommend the gap between the major meal and exercise should be minimum 1 hour, but recommended 2 hours. What happens during that? What happens after meals? After 40 minutes digestion starts. Exact after 1 to 2 hours, the digestive system need more blood supply. If you start doing exercises, then the brain give the signal and deteriorate digestive system from supplying of blood. When they don't get blood and they deprive, they start making gases, and then you get the side stitch. What is the side stitch? Where people feel pain either right side or left side of their intestine because the undigested food is stuck, blood supply is not there, they can't move ahead, they can't go back, so they start producing gases. That's why we recommend to have a proper gap between big major meals and exercise. So let's get back to the warm up. As soon as you start your warm up, the blood supply is totally towards the muscular system. Now, whenever we perform movement, our blood whoosh out into the muscles and whoosh out of the muscles. So this is the uh, cellular level exchange of blood, oxygen, and nutrient. So cellular level, on the cellular level, the waste product has been released by the muscles and they receive oxygen and nutrient. So this is the door opening and door closing, regular kind of movement. But when you hold it, what happens then? Let us understand. We are a cell body. So all the cells are now with the closed chamber, with the door closed. The nutrients, whatever they have received, the amount of oxygen, whatever they have received, that is inside the cells. Inside the cell, they are not able to release carbon dioxide. They are not able to release the waste product to the at the cellular level. They are stuck, static. Now what is happening inside the cell? Inside the cells, oxygen is converting very fast into carbon dioxide and they are not getting the more oxygen. They are not able, they are not allowed to release the waste products. They are not able to allowed to release the carbon dioxide. So every amount of oxygen is now converted in carbon dioxide. No nutrient is left out. Carbohydrate burnt as a fuel, fat whatever was released, that is burnt. What now? What now? You say, oh ma'am, I can't take any more punishment, let me go down. And what happened at that time? You feel the pain, you feel the rush of the blood, and then you say sorry. You are ready to do anything else except that punishment, because your muscles are now under so much of waste product that it can't hold. Even if the teacher is standing with stick, you say, I can't hold it. You just beat me now. So that is the withdrawal point of a body. This is very important and essential to understand by the yoga trainers exactly what people suffers, because sometimes what happens, we are so fit body, we are not able to realize what people are complaining or how they are feeling after 24 hours, 48 hours. And here, when this connect is not there between the trainer and the society, the classes get fake. Every time people will come to me leaving other centers and say and report, ma'am, trainer is very good, but I was not able to accompany, comfortable with their classes. The trainer is very good. So what is in that? If people are not coming to see your performance, people are not coming to see that you are doing a very good shirshasana. They are coming, can we do, can you make us do, can you make us learn? That is the difference between the other trainers and my trainers. The trainers whom I train, I make them sensitive to feeling and healing for the society. That is very important. Yes, Rachna, you want to ask something? Unmute yourself, please.
Oh, yeah, now. What happens the moment we release the posture? Then what happens? The oxygen is converted into carbon dioxide. The moment we release the posture, then what will happen?
I'm coming. I'm coming into
Okay.
that. So, be sensitive, and the first program designing in your classes should be the consideration of age, sex, fitness level of a person, and the disease. First, ask these four questions. Prepare a professional form. Let them give you all. And last, my mantra is to you, tip to you. Do not go on their words. If they say, Madam Ji, I was performing very well 3 months before. I was the national player 5 years before. Don't go on those words. Start with when they enroll with you. Start with the 0 day. For first 3 days, you will go very light. You must have seen today's class of Anuradha. This would have been done in first class also, but that is a gradual introduction to each thing. Go step by step. Don't go with the people's word, because any injury you will be liable. And if you are working internationally, then you know how the process goes about um, charging people or suing trainers. So that's why you have to be very sensitive about. So after that position, when we are feeling very much pain in that particular part or region, what happens? As soon as you just withdraw from that pose, any kind of pose, in any exercise regime, the blood rushes towards the muscle and release more and more oxygen. That's why you breathe. You want to compensate that, and we call it a state of homeostasis. The state of homeostasis that occurs. So, in that homeostasis state, the first few seconds and minute, oxygen, the lungs and heart, they beat very fast, they work very fast, and they just want to replenish, recover the muscle so that it should not go in any deteriorated condition. That is a recovery phase, we call it. And whenever you do isotonic exercises, you feel less tired. But if you do isometric exercises, you need 24 hours to recover. That's why when we design a program for gym trainers, we give them a break of 1 day. If they have done chest today, then they are going to do leg workout tomorrow and then the chest. So 24 hours, 48 hours, and 72 hours. This much time can body take. Now let us come to the scenario of our classes. We have heterogeneous group. You need to deal with the heterogeneous group. You are not going to get all the clients with the same age, with same sex, with same disease, or with fitness. There will be the heterogeneous group. So with the heterogeneous group, you need to understand the recovery process also. The weakest in the group may get recovery after 48 or 72 hours. The strongest one may recover in 12 hours. So, this is how we differentiate the fitness of the body. This is how we differentiate, and age doesn't matter. May the person who is very regular in his fitness regime is better in recovery phase, better in performance than the 20-year-old obese kid. Our generation is a little bit aware and more fit rather than the new generation coming up, because still we are in a movement, but they are on their laptop and mobiles. So they have less energy, they have less capacity or endurance, muscular endurance than us. So you don't go with their age that they are young, they can perform anything. Mishappening can occur. Just take care of it. So with this homeostasis state, the body starts recover. That is the time when, if nutrition provided, the body is going to accommodate or going to digest 98 to 100% of that nutrition. That's why proteins are recommended within 15 minutes of exercise session. People think that the fitness freaks are going with their shakes, the milkshake, the protein shakes in the gym. They are just showing off. Darshan. No, it's not that. The exercise science says as soon as you stop, you cease the exercise, and homeostasis state is starting, and the body is getting, body is required to be replenished with all we have losses, all the, and maximum wear and tear is happening at the muscular level. Muscular system gets into the wear and tear. So that needs the more replenishing, and that's why the proteins are recommended immediately after your workout session. So that in that state of homeostasis, protein is consumed and absorbed by the system approximate 98 to 100%. The more you intake the nutrition, you linger on after 30 minutes, after 1 hour, after 2 hours, the number of percentage, the absorption percentage gets down. That's why and the problem with the protein is protein releases nitrogen, and that traps inside the kidney if it is not digested and absorbed properly by the body. So if 70% only absorbed, What about the rest 30%? And then people have jaundice, liver failure, kidneys, and then they blame it is just because of protein. People don't know how to take protein. People don't know what is the after effect of taking proteins after 3 hours, after 5 hours. Anytime people are taking protein shakes, it should not be. I'm telling you because of this. If you are going to handle a sports person through yoga, then you must know after the yoga session also they need protein. So after this homeostasis state, you now know about the muscular functioning. One word will come: lactic acid. What is lactic acid? In absence of oxygen, the fuel, the glucose converted to give us energy becomes lactic acid. But in isotonic exercises, when the movement is there, the oxygen supply is not cut off. So in that movement, we get oxygen continuously. And that's why lactic acid is at minimal. In presence of oxygen, lactic acid does not form inside the body. That's why marathoner can run 42 kilometer, but the bodybuilder powerlifter can lift the highest weight only once. They can't even perform twice, the highest of their capacity. So marathon runner can run 42 kilometer continuation, the same movement, but he is getting oxygen. But power lifter, weight lifter, heavy weight, poses, yoga, we are not getting any oxygen. We are cut off with the supply of oxygen, and everything is converted in a waste product. So that's the time when, in absence of oxygen, the glucose glycogen converted into the lactic acid. So this is the difference between the aerobic kind of exercise and anaerobic kind of exercise. So let me tell you, all the sports, games, activities are aerobic in nature. Stair climbing, walking, running, badminton, athletics, any kind of movement is aerobic. Anaerobic is resistance training or weight training. Yoga is weight training because you are using your own body weight. So yoga is anaerobic. At the time of swimming, diving is anaerobic, and swimming when they touch the wall and they just turn inside the water for 10 to 15 meters, that is anaerobic. So aerobic and anaerobic is back to back can be performed during the sports, during the services. When we do lawn tennis, volleyball service, we hold the breath and push it very fast, very smashing position in badminton. In yoga, we hold it for a longer duration. What is sadhana? What is sadhak? How to become yogi? To be sthir in one asana. So that made yoga as an anaerobic activity. You need to understand this, because sometimes trainers make any kind of exercise regime, any kind of fitness regime very torturous for the people. And people withdraw from there for whole life that no, exercise is not my cup of tea. I can walk only in my vicinity or in my society. I will walk. That's all. I can't perform. So please don't do it, because in the principle of exercises, we have one principle of specificity. Specificity of muscle is, if you want to reduce your abdomen, you need to perform abdominal exercise, not walking. That's why you must have seen people walking for years and years every day in the morning and night after the dinner, but they are in the same frame, they are in the same, body frame. Because muscle specificity means if you need to develop your tricep, and if you are doing only the bicep curls, The tricep is going to develop only 10 or 20% because of the antagonist and agonist performance. But till you perform tricep, major exercise, minutely for the tricep, then only the tricep will get into shape. That is why women have a very loose, underarms. Because of that, they always perform some or the other kind of activity using the biceps only. So specificity of muscle is very important, and in yoga, when we are talking about PCOD, PCOS, reproductive system, it is very essential that the asanas we are performing are going to affect those organs and muscles. Halasana, where the thyroid is totally under the pressure, and because of that pressure, slowly and gradually, we can treat thyroid. We can balance thyroid and the secretion of thyroid. So, this is how asanas affect our body. And muscle is the major portion covered by the muscles only, and muscles are responsible for the performance of our any movement. That's why it is very essential to understand the nature of muscle and the contractions of muscle and movement of muscle, what we are loading them, and of course the nutrition. That's why I always run nutrition courses simultaneously, because after exercise they say abhi, just Rahul asked, ma'am, can I drink water? How much water? And immediately Yogesh just informed you, don't drink cold water. So people don't know about it. People eat and drink, and do nutritional mistakes many a times, and then they say, I'm not getting results. You won't able to believe that what are you they doing after your classes. After they are with you only for 1 hour, but after your class, what are they doing 23 hours, doing all kind of mistake because of all the nonsense education they are getting from the Google Gyan and WhatsApp Gyan. They are, they are trying anything and everything. So that's why it is very essential to understand what Ayurvedic nutrition is suggesting, what modern nutrition is suggesting, and how to deal with the obesity, because obesity is a psychological, dealing. You need to go ahead if people are coming for weight loss and they are 100 and 120 and 130 and 138 kgs. I have dealt with the maximum client with, which I have dealt 138 kg, 135, 132, 128. All four were friends, moving together all the time in all the kitties, in every, family friends. So if you are going ahead with obesity as your specialization to reduce down, then you need to understand the obesity management through psychological intervention, behavior modification. Otherwise, it's not possible to reduce, help them out to reduce 40 kgs, 45 kgs. Next, types of muscles. Now we have three types of muscles: skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. So skeletal muscles, now it is all clear because we use it during the any activity or performance, we use skeletal muscles. Where are the smooth muscles? Smooth muscles are located in our organs. Let me show you. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for confirming. So this is the type of muscle, skeletal muscle. Just we have talked about these muscles, skeletal muscles. All the time you are hearing six packs, rectus abdominis, bicep, tricep, thigh muscles, or hip muscle, gluteus medius, maximus. This is all skeletal muscle we talk about. Smooth muscles are present in our organs. Our organs are made up of smooth muscles: liver, eyes, kidney, intestine. These muscles are not skeletal muscles. These have different qualities. That's why we call it smooth muscle. The major difference is muscles we have straighted in the sense when we draw the muscles, you must have seen the longer longitude and longer fiber arrangements. But in smooth muscles, they are non-straighted. There is no striation. They are very smooth, very clean and smooth. They don't have any striations. So you can understand the by the liver, kidney, intestine, and eyes. We have in the eyes and the brain. They are all made up of smooth muscles. So first condition of smooth muscle and skeletal muscles are attached to the bone. Smooth muscles and cardiac muscles are not attached to the bone. That makes a major difference. So skeletal muscles, they are attached to the bones. Smooth muscles, they are not attached. They can't because they make our organs. So they are not attached. Same with the cardiac muscle. Now cardiac muscle, why it is a third muscle we consider? Because cardiac muscle have one quality of skeletal muscle, that is striation, straighted. That's why we always shade the heart. Whenever you make a picture of heart, we shade the heart. So it is straighted. They have the fiber arrangement in a diagonal shapes. But they are not attached to the bones. That's why we can't count it in a skeletal muscle. So that is a cardiac muscle. Separate, having two qualities each from each group. That's why it is a third quality muscle. Next comes the functioning of muscle. Functioning. Skeletal muscles are voluntary muscle. Voluntary muscle means when we want to perform, we can perform. If we don't want to perform, we won't perform. Okay. So, if I want to pick this glass, I know how much pressure, how much, lifting, how much energy I have to use. If I want to use this pen, you know how much pressure you need to lift this pen. So, this is volunteer. I want to hold it or I want to leave it. This is volunteer. But in smooth muscles, whether I want to blink or not, it is not under my control. This is involuntary action. I have just drank the tea. Will it be digested or not? It is not under my pressure. It will digest, it will take its own time. Maybe 10 minutes for me, maybe 20 minutes for you. So everybody has a different time and different pressure and energy to perform anything. That's why the liver, kidney makes us so separate that people have four maybe chapatis in a meal and they say, I'm still hungry. And people who eat only one chapati, they say, I can't eat anything. I have just taken aloo paratha or maybe puri. So that makes a difference between because the muscular capacity. And then because of that health and capacity, the release of the juices depend upon that. Right? Now comes involuntary functioning, cardiac muscle. I am very sensitive about the cardiac muscles because with the first breath, when a child is born, and the first breath, it opens the heart and it starts, with the breath, it opens the lungs. And the heart start beating inside the womb of the mother till it stops. We are alive. So 90 years of age, 100 years of age, 80 years of age. Let us come with the average age of 77 years, what is going on right now in India. 77 years, 24 into 7, it has to beat to make you survive alive. It is involuntary. If you feel hotness, it starts sweating and palpitation gets high. if you are performing some activity or if you are under some emotional stress, the heart state starts adjusting with your brain signals, with the anxiety, stress. So this is the most adjustable machine in the world, which goes so long, which just doesn't ripped off like anything. So that's why it is very essential to take care of our heart. One question always arises, or make people curious, that is cardiac muscles are muscles like heart has a muscles? Yes, it is. But the difference between the growth of the muscle is that if a bodybuilder is doing any kind of exercise and they can have the bicep of 18-inch, same bodybuilder doesn't have a heart bulging out from the chest because he has worked out so much. No, but heart grows inside the bodybuilder also. So our heart is the size of our fist, right? So as we do exercise, our fist also grow. Have you seen the fist of the bodybuilder? So that much his heart has grown. So our heart it's a muscle and it grows, but it has a condition of only 7% growth. That's all. And that makes Olympic champions. That makes Olympic champion. They don't have two hearts. They don't have extra muscles in their heart. But it is just the capacity of the heart, which is very difficult to improve, that makes a man different. So anybody can become Olympic champion. We all have the same capacity and capabilities. The difference is only the practice, the consistency, the nutrition, the sleep pattern, the recovery pattern. That is only the difference. Every human body is same. So with the involuntary action, the cardiac muscle is, of course, it's a muscle. Yet this clarity is very essential. It will grow, but it will grow in a very slow manner. Otherwise, 100-meter um, records will be easy to break. Any record in Olympics. Why it is so important? Because breaking the any record needs to perform at the optimum level of your not only organs, systems, your brain, your thought process, everything. With of course with your nutrition. So this is the difference between three types of muscles: straighted, non-straighted, attached to the bone, not attached to the bone, and muscle growth, volunteer or involuntary usage, and the growth of the muscles depend upon the type of muscles. So cardiac muscle cannot grow like the fastest muscle can be grown as a skeletal muscle. So this is all about the type of muscles. So as an exercise scientist and as an exercise physiologist, we are going to study more about the skeletal muscles, because both are involuntary muscles. Cardiac, yes, of course, we will study in the circulatory system, but as a physiologist, we are going to concentrate more about the skeletal muscles, which muscle affect after which asanas. That is going to be the topic for tomorrow. Any question? Any question?
No, ma'am, no.
Thank you,
Everything is
Prabhat.
clear.
Thank you, Prabhat.
Yes, ma'am. I have one question.
Yes, Rachaji.
Yeah. Actually, you were saying about lactic acid in the absence of oxygen or fuel glucose converted into energy, and that becomes lactic acid. This is the lactic
Yeah,
acid.
yes.
That
Uh,
energy is lactic acid.
no, energy to use हो गया. Energy has been used. What is left out? Now let me tell
Yes,
you
ma'am.
one thing. Every thing which just burn or combustion. After the combustion of anything, remaining will always be there. जिसे कहते हैं ना, हर आग के बाद राख जरूर होगी, कम और ज्यादा डिपेंड करता है. So what happens? There is a ATP system. ATP system is adenosine triphosphate and creatine phosphate system. So ATP is three phosphates. So one phosphate, creatine phosphate, separates and fuel. It burns out and it gives us the energy. Now one which is left, which is burned. What happened to that? Which is burned, if the oxygen supply is there, it will again revive, it will again become ATP. So constant ATP manufacturing is going on under the inside the body. That's why marathoner can run 42 kilometer inhalation with the intake of oxygen. The swimmers can swim English Channel. But if this ATP, which is this phosphate, if it doesn't supply with the oxygen, what happened to that? What happened to that? That chemical is called lactic acid, जिसको वापस it can't turn out as a ATP. वो वापस phosphate नहीं बन पाया. That's why it is the next chemical. The name is different now, lactic acid. Now this is so sluggish, this is so thick that it is inside the muscle. It can't be released. It can't be released immediately. So you get muscle soreness. You feel muscle soreness. And what happens in 24 hours? Slowly, every time when oxygen and nutrition are supplied, the waste product, with that waste product, lactic acid also released by the muscle slowly and gradually. And it takes minimum 12 to 24 hours minimum. But you can develop the lactic acid tolerance capacity. That is, inside the athletes, that they work out day and night for 3 hours more than everyone. But that is the difference from first day of your client's yoga session to the 30th yoga session. The first day, which is very difficult, seem to be for
That
performance. After that, they say it is very easy. What is next now? Tell me. What you call stamina, we call endurance. So this is a lactic acid endurance.
that can be developed by practicing.
Practicing only, natural. Because lactic acid, when it is manufactured only when you are using energy. When you are using energy after performing some activity, then only it will be, enhance the tolerance. It's not that we can replenish with any nutrition drink or anything. But the combustion will be there, and the elimination, body has to learn how fast it can
Yeah.
eliminate. Any question? Rubina ji, quick question. Sonia, Himanshu, Prabhat. Is there?
Ma'am,
Okay.
ma'am,
Thank you.
uh,
You want to ask
ma'am, I have
something,
a doubt.
Prabhat?
Ma'am, Himanshu here. Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Okay. Yes, Himanshu,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Ma'am, as you told during warm up, ma'am, blood supply goes toward the muscle. But ma'am, during gym training and exercise, and after that, now where blood supply going on?
Ma'am, ma'am, you are on mute, I guess.
Ma'am,
Could not hear the
Sorry,
reply.
sorry, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Well, I was not able to hear Himanshu, so I have muted myself. Yes. So when the state of homeostasis comes, Himanshu, initially for the first 2 to 3 minutes, all the nutrient oxygen will go to the muscles only, but after that, the supply is be deteriorated to 25% to 30%, 40%. It deteriorates very fast. Let me give you an example. If you perform only 10 minutes, 20-minute exercise, after that within 2 3 minutes, if you have run after the bus, suppose if you need to catch the bus and you are running after that, and it goes. You can't get on the bus. What happens? We start inhaling deeply, because so this is
Yes, ma'am.
homeostasis, this is now you are recovering, but this is only for 2-3 minutes. After that, what? After that you become normal and you are waiting for the next bus. You are not inhaling fast, you are not doing anything extra efforts. After that, the all system will be replenished with the blood, and muscles will be the last one to be supplied the blood, and it happens like 75% cut off, 60%, 40%, and then we relax, and the 30% is going to the muscle, and rest of the systems are getting what they have cut off for past 40 minutes, 60 minutes, or 2 hours. So they will get more and more blood, brain get more and more blood, and then recovery process start. That's why lactic acid stuck there in the muscles is always stuck over there, because it won't get that chance very fast, and it will take 24 hours cycle to slowly release the lactic acid.
And ma'am, we can say during exercise and workout, blood supply normal like.
I'm not getting your question, Himanshu. You can ask in Hindi also.
Ma'am, I'm just saying, as you told me, ma'am, during warm up, blood supply goes toward muscles. But ma'am, I'm just asking that during exercise in gym training and after exercise, now where blood supply is going on? Toward muscles and all over the body.
Oh no, aha, you are a little bit confused. Blood is supplied throughout the workout, throughout the body, but the amount of blood is more towards the muscular system, because it has to be. If you are doing this, it has to be. Anytime you have seen anyone who has been dropped, no, I can't perform any action. No, action can be slow, action can be failed, but it is not that your body is locked because it is not getting any kind of blood supply. So as we start warm up, the brain gets signal and it divert the blood, more supply of blood towards the muscular system. Cut off the, limiting. Cut off means limiting. Only 15%, 20%. Okay, you just survive. Digestive system just survive. Brain and everything just think and survive. That's all. But after and during exercise also, when you are performing, of course you are demanding. Then heart has to supply blood to you. That's the functioning of heart during the exercise. But after that, what happens post exercise is only the phase of homeostasis, 2 to 3 to 5 minutes. That time the blood जैसे break लगता है, slowly that functioning is deteriorated. The supply of amount of oxygen is cut down from the muscular system gradually. It is not a break suddenly shutting, suddenly switch on and switch off. No, body is very intelligent. So gradually it enhance muscular system supply during the workout. If you are doing very intense, very high aerobic class, you will get all the muscles. You will get all the blood supply. But when you are cooling down, it will slowly, gradually. That's why cool down is also very important. Shavasana. Why we go for last minute stretching and shavasana? Because we want body to break, to slow down slowly, like 100-meter mph, 100 mph to 80 to 70 to 60 to 40. Okay, normal 20. That is how our um, functioning of our system also work.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So after post, the
Clarification.
blood is, blood is supplied. Huh? Blood is supplied throughout the workout session, throughout the body. Just the amount of oxygen, amount of blood is adjusted by the body according to your need. It never happens that you are performing a slow walk and you are getting more and more blood, which you don't even need. Don't your muscles even don't require or ask you. So when we perform rigorous exercise, our muscles are asking. The more you are performing rigorous exercise, the more your muscles are asking. The blood will supply, and there is a point of cut where we all slow down, where the trainer is performing, but we get slowed down because now the heart is saying, "This is your maximum capacity. I can't supply you more." And after 30 days of practicing, after 3 months, after 1 year, after 4 years, people become Olympic champion, because Now they have built up the capacity of supply and and cutting it off. So this is how the performance and recovery designing of program goes with our coaching system, with our training system.
Thank you,
I
ma'am. It's really a great explanation. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, your mic
I'm
is
just leaving all of
unmuted.
I'm just leaving all of you with the thought, with the sciences, absorb it, follow your system, follow your body. When we are commanding people, breathe in, breathe out, do the stretching, Sukshma Yama. Now start feeling the supply of blood, how it goes up, how your body is adjusting after seizing the but the every program design, in every session we have the principle of overload. Overload means if it is Monday, you are going to design according to 2 days break. Saturday and Sunday, may people have missed your classes. Sunday is always off. Saturday, many people miss your classes. So Monday, you have to be more designing towards the stretching, more designing towards the basic asanas. But if it is Friday, you know now the after 4 days, so Friday workload, the Friday overloading will be much higher than the Monday. So, with the principle of overload, whatever is your peak of that class, and after that, from where you are starting cutting down the exercise, cutting down the asanas, going to the towards the cool down, try to feel how your heart behaves, how the blood supplies enhances, and then it cuts down, shuts down slowly the system. What happens in your body at the stage of homeostasis? What you want to eat after immediately exercise. Like for weight loss, what we recommend after ceasing the exercise session, immediately go for the lemon water. No salt, no sugar, just the lemon and water. So lemon is antioxidant. Antioxidant means we have used so much of oxygen inside the body, and the point of deprivation of oxygen, that lemon helps to replenish the oxygen. So it is antioxidant, and it is the best antioxidant available on the earth. लेमन के लिए ये कहा जाता है, अगर नींबू में बीज ना होता तो ये अमृत फल होता और ये हमें अजर अमर कर देता. इसकी सारी क्वालिटीज ऐसी थी, बट ancient method, mystical or ancient stories tell us something else. So उसको गॉड ने अमृत फल ना बन जाए, इसलिए उसमें वो कड़वा बीज डाला. दैट्स द स्टोरी बिहाइंड. So that's why if you want to go for the weight loss or you want to replenish yourself, refreshing, हमेशा सब ये क्यों कहते हैं lemon water is very refreshing. जस्ट सॉल्ट इसलिए नहीं डालना बिकॉज सोडियम हाई हो जाएगा, और अगर बीपी प्रॉब्लम है तो वो और प्रॉब्लमेटिक हो जाएगी, क्योंकि बॉडी एकदम से सोडियम हाई कर देगी, वो तो सारा एब्जॉर्ब कर देगी. लिटिल पिंक सॉल्ट or is recommended in Ayurveda, because if more sweating, if you are sweating a lot and you are a fit body, then you need to go ahead with replenish of your sodium. अगर आप योग ट्रेनर है और आपको लगातार क्लासेस लेनी है, एंड इंडिया इज हॉट एंड ह्यूमिड कंट्री, एंड ईच टाइम यू आर स्वेटिंग आउट, सो आपका सोडियम इम्बैलेंस हो जाएगा. So you can go ahead with salt. You can also add sugar because you are using your glycogen. If you are a fit body, so you have very limited amount of anything which is giving you, providing you energy. So you need to take care of three things: your glycogen, glucose, what you are eating, fructose, fruits, lactose, milk, your water is a sixth nutrient. You need to hydrate yourself, because सबसे ज़्यादा problem trainers को आती है. Now if you are opting a career as a yoga trainer, it's 30 years I'm being aerobic trainer, so you need to use your body very efficiently. You have to take care of your body. सबसे ज़्यादा आपको अपनी body का ध्यान रखना है. And then comes the sodium. Sodium is when we go for the isotonic exercises, action potential. This movement is called action potential. What happens in action potential? The potassium and sodium from cell level, at the cellular level, it just perform. It goes inside and outside the cell. So sodium potassium का exchange of cellular level पे होता है, and that's why it is very essential to have proper sodium. Not neither more nor less. If it is less, you will get dizziness, you will get muscle cramps. The muscle cramps are the indication of dehydrated body and lack of sodium. इसलिए नमक में पानी में नमक डालकर पिलाते हैं muscle cramps के टाइम पे, so that sodium get replenished. So this is how sensitive the body is. So you need to understand more and more about it, how it behaves. That's all for today, and we'll meet tomorrow with the
Yes, ma'am.
muscular system only.